What to do post antibiotics? This is a question I receive fairly regularly and just helped a couple folks with it most recently. I get it, it happens. For one reason or another, folks will end up going on antibiotics, and there's a real concern, obviously, naturally, about one's own microbiome when these types of drugs are designed to reduce infections, but at the same time will oftentimes wipe out your good gut bacteria. I don't think it's going to completely wipe everything out, but that being said, one still will want to look to rebuild that microbiome. And what is the best way to do it? Fermented foods. Now, there's always a time and a place for probiotic supplements. We've got a couple of really key ones here as well. There's in particular this brand called Smidge. You know, it's an option. You can get it in capsules, you can get it in powder. The great thing about Smidge, you can even get it for infants as well. So whoever needs that repopulation, there can be a place for taking probiotics as a supplement. But if we look to food, I think fermented foods, live cultured, unpasteurized, still living, are going to be some of your best ways to get it in, especially being the most economical as well. So let's explore a couple varieties and options, which I think is key that you want to add in. I'd say the number one thing that you want to do is, yes, add in fermented foods, but add in a variety of them, because each one will have its own spectrum of probiotics, different bacteria within that culture. And so if you consume a variety of ferments, you're going to get a much broader variety of probiotics into your system. I think kefir is absolutely one of the best, and we've got coconut kefir. Many are familiar with dairy kefir. The strains within milk kefir are really powerful and have that ability to help reset the system and some potential colonizing effects. So if one is adverse to dairy, there is a coconut version, and if one is okay with dairy, then we have the bacteria, the kefir grains, the culture, that it is so easy to make. It takes 12 hours, so there's a little bit of a startup thing because these guys have been, they're dormant. So basically you want to kind of, put them in a little bit of milk, get them going. But once they're established, literally you just drop this into milk, you let it sit overnight at room temperature. It's what we call a mesophilic culture. So it doesn't need to be warmed like a yogurt, just on the counter, into milk, and then it cultures it, and then you've got an incredible source of good bacteria. And these grains, these kefir grains, can be reused over and over and over again. So once you buy them, you've got them, and you can constantly make incredibly beneficial kefir full of probiotics. So number one, I'd say I would recommend kefir, be it dairy kefir or water kefir. Another really, really powerful form of probiotics and getting these ferments into your everyday is through a brine. I mean, this 500 mils is $9. Such a great deal. And by the likes of someone like Dr. Mercola, done studies that they say that, within these fermented vegetables, be it sauerkraut, be it pickles, or the brine from such ferments, literally in a tablespoon, you've got so much probiotic bacteria, living bacteria, equivalent to, entire bottles of probiotic supplements. So for $9, this is the kind of thing that I would just be taking little shots throughout the day. You can take it before a meal. It's going to help increase digestion. You can take it after a meal, in between meals, and just do little, kind of 1 ounce shots of that. You can do it straight. You can put it into water just to get those bacteria in. So kefir, lacto-fermented vegetables, be it sauerkraut, be it pickles, you name it, as well as the brines, so key in order to get that probiotic bacteria and the population of it back in. Now, you can look to things like misos as well. That's going to give you a different spectrum of bacteria. Caution with misos is that oftentimes we'll do it as miso soup. So the best preparation is already have your soup, warm, hot, ready, and then as it goes into the bowl, you're going to stir in that miso paste, and that's going to introduce those cultures in a way that not hot, so you lose them. And yeah, we've got a couple of different living live culture misos. There's a red one, soy based. We also have a chickpea one as well if someone wants to avoid soy. Natto is another one, completely different bacteria. This one specifically is Bacillus subtilis, fermented on soybeans. So I think you get the idea. The goal here is post antibiotics is to include as many probiotic foods as you can as possible, getting a diversity of different strains, and then I would keep that up like kind of intensively for a couple of weeks just to really help reset that microbiome and that terrain with the good probiotics.